versus TKO. Heil is going to be on the left side. First ban going to be Sasano. We see that almost every single game. We all know why. That character is just ridiculous.
Oh, the high mobility, high damage, and high annoyance. So
Just so you know,
cancer
there's a
that he's
little
putting
bit,
in.
little bit of background noise going on with your mic. I'm not sure what it is.
I'll fix that real quick. Go ahead and talk.
Chunga going to be a response ban to that. Going to be interesting to see what Heil decides to ban out and see if they can't try and get a Bologna on their side or something, but we will see.
I agree.
Hopefully,
Changa still in the middle, even after being nerfed.
hopefully my PS4 will endure through this broadcasting. What I'm hopefully going to be able to do eventually is grab some money. We'll save up some money and grab a couple parts for my PC so that all my PS4 has to do is spectate. I can route it through my computer, and my computer can do all the broadcasting, so we can get some high-quality broadcasting and possibly put some borders and such on things. Bologna going to be instantly locked in after the Scotty ban on the side of TKO is going to leave her open. Osiris and Robin are both open, so if they wanted to grab the second best solo laner and one of the most universal gods in the game, they could definitely lock both those characters in right now, but they don't have to. They could probably just lock in Robin, hold on to that flex pick, and wait until Osiris for their third pick. But Geb going to be hovered on. I think a character that's slowly rising in popularity. His clear is pretty weak early, which is one reason that a lot of teams look away from him, but partnered with the Medusa, I don't think they're going to have too hard of a time. Plus, that shield is still super good regardless of what phase of the game we're in.
Geb's like I've always said, Geb's a barricade. Always protect his teammates if the person knows what they're doing.
Karnanu is going to be hovered on. I think definitely one of the better hunters right now. A lot of hunters are starting to get picked up, but going to be locked in, I think. Super good with his early jungle clear as well as his early pressure. Karnanu's going to be locked in along with that Vulcan. So much popularity has been given to Vulcan lately. Some good, some bad. I think other characters do shine better than him, but rising in the meta, his damage has been consistent and easier to hit than it seems. I think with the way the team fights go, people group up so much, and it makes Vulcan that much more effective. A Wheelik's going to be the response to be locked in. Her and that Geb combo very well with the rollout that Geb has. That can knock somebody up, and a Wheelik's can pull that, plus the regular knockup if they can time that well. So a Wheelik's going to be the jungler of choice for them. I think second best behind Sasano.
No,
Naja going to be banned.
So good this league.
We've seen Naja only a couple times so far in this league. I think Naja does good damage and can strip protections way easily. It's just easy to punish a Naja. As soon as they ult, you know where they're going to land. There's no doubt that they're going to be exactly at the little circle on the ground where they left. So it's going to be an interesting pick to see if we can find a Naja by next game, but going to be banned out for now, valuing that the ability of Heil to play that god.
Yeah, Najah, as long as he's a solid team, can avoid being grouped up on as long as his team knows what's going on. And he's not 1v5ing. And he's not the kind of guy that can 1v5. He's the kind of guy that comes in from behind or from the side and grabs that sweet, sweet ult. Your team pushes back the line, gets you in their lines, and they pick up that guy that just either died or is going to die as soon as he lands.
It's what Naja's good at, is disrupting the backline. You throw that ring toss early game between two people, it's a devastating ability. It hits for like 100 or 120 usually at rank 5. And when you have that bounce between you and you and your teammate 4 times, it does chunks of damage. So you have to be real careful to make sure that your backline stays safe. Poseidon and Osiris going to both be banned out. They didn't pick up the Osiris on the side of TKO, so that's immediately going to get banned out. They don't even want to take the risk of them picking that up later in the draft, so not surprised to see that. And the Sylvanas ban going to be coming through. Actually, I think Khepri ban would have been just as potent. I think Sylvanas is a little worse than Khepri in the sense that he can't revive somebody. He can't bail somebody out with just a heal. It's a ticking heal, and it doesn't do too much in a short amount of time. But still, I respect the ban, and I think if Khepri comes through, they might be kicking themselves for that. But we'll see exactly what team comp they may be going for here.
Interesting. Sustain. I mean, siege type not armies. Siege type teams are really popular. Once I've seen this 100 times. Really popular meta right now. To back off and then heal up with Sylvanas or Terra or someone who has those healing abilities, and then re-engage the fight.
The last few sets that we've seen, Ganesha was either banned or picked within the first couple of opportunity is actually falling to the 8th pick here. So I think that may have been their plan this entire time, to just pick their other lanes and make the other team focus on those lanes as well, and hold on to that Ganesha pick until later and just see if they don't ban it out. And if they do ban out that Ganesha, you could pick up a Khepri or Sylvanas, but they opted to ban out the Sylvanas. So I think they're pretty happy to have that Ganesha on their team.
I agree.
Just thinking about what
But
their
he's going
last
to be
pick
really
is
good
going
to
to be.
combo.
Yes.
Ganesha just synergizes really well with the whole team already. A lot of
Absolutely.
CC, that ultimate that will keep them boxed in. Bologna picking up the stragglers, Ceranos rooting them into the thing while Vulcan's just sitting back throwing his spicy meatballs and his ultimates in there.
Absolutely. Just thinking about what their jungle pick is going to be here. They have 52 more seconds to choose, so they can take all the time in the world that they need. Nemesis is going to be what they opt for, going to shred straight through that Geb and his shield. So I think not a bad pick to try and counter out the prominent support and see if you can start shutting him down. And whatever solo laner they pick up, they have to make sure that that solo laner has the escape to get away from a Nemesis. As soon as that ultimate goes on to anybody, you're a sitting duck and you take almost true damage having your protections removed. So you got to be real careful.
We can only hope that they pick in the Ravana, or their solo laner is just really good with another god.
Absolutely.
So I learned an interesting fact about how meta is born. So apparently, so reading up on this and watching a few videos, meta is not what the consensus. Oh, and there we see the Ravana pick.
What meta is by definition is a person playing a step ahead of the other person, or thinking about what the other person is thinking, and then changing your own playstyle to atone for what the other person is thinking. Meta play is playing smart, super smart, and trying to guess what the enemy person is thinking. If you're super good at it, then you're a good meta player. But the way Smite calls meta is simply how we play the game the most efficiently, and the general consensus for how the game is most played efficiently. I think the definition you saw was something pretty similar about playing a step ahead, or knowing and reading the thoughts of the enemy, right?
No, it was actually more about like the pro league. So pretty much what is meta is what's been proven to be useful even at the highest tier right now in Smite. So anyone, like, you can say you've been using that forever, but no one cares. A month ago, before it got patched up and became useful, they care that you're using it now because it's useful. What you could say is I like the item, and I liked the item beforehand, and I always used it, but now it's been buffed. I'm really happy that I've always been used to it, and I'm used to using it. Like, you could do that. But the meta is usually defined by the pros, because the pros have proven that it can be played at the highest tier, and it plays the same throughout the whole thing, and it's consistent. Is what happens. Like with the Deathwalker build, the Deathwalker build actually does really well at all levels, right?
The Deathwalker build is pretty useful, but you have to make sure that the person using it understands exactly what the use of it is. It's high sustain and high protections early game, sure, but you don't have potions online to bail you out if you take too much damage. So I think it's going to take an experienced player, but I think anybody who is decently experienced on all levels would be able to use the Deathwalker start effectively, and his build,
Yeah,
of course.
I mean, yeah. So it pretty much plays throughout the same. I mean, typically, if you know about Deathwalker, you're at the stage in Smite where you're starting to take it competitively and want to, do better, so on and so forth, right? Because I don't think I didn't even know there was a pro league until maybe 3 months into the game.
SPL, I knew about SPL when I first started playing, but I'm still interested to see how this particular game is going to play out. We have so much time to talk here, but both drafts are pretty even, I'd say. Prominent picks in Medusa, Wheelix, and Bravana on the side of TKO, and prominent picks in Ganesha, Bologna, and Kernernus on the side of Heil. Nemesis also rising in popularity too, so I think both drafts pack a punch. It's just going to come down to who executes their team fights better, and if this Vulcan isn't very good, we've seen bad Vulcans cost people the game before, so hopefully Godmaker is very competent at this Vulcan, and we could see some pretty good plays out of him.
I mean, they are Inhumans B team, and if you think about it, they've been in-housing against Inhumans. I'm sure for Scrim. Scrim partners are huge, and we're probably going to start to see in the league teams naturally bond together, become Scrim partners, and so on and so forth, and just improve together dramatically. But yeah, they've been with Inhumans for a while, so they know a lot of the same stuff that they do, if I'm not mistaken. So I'm not going to be surprised if the Vulcan knows what he's doing, if he plays anything like Inhumans mid at all.
Absolutely. But we can't take them as if they are the Inhumans. They are the team that Inhumans is fostering and trying to grow and learn from, so they can have competent scrim partners as this league starts to progress, or at least another team that they know they can bounce ideas off of and practice with and try out new strats against, which is exactly what a lot of good teams have, is a secondary team that even if they aren't, even if they aren't bad players, I don't think any of these players are bad players. They're just a secondary team of players that don't mesh as well, I think, as the main teams. So they're definitely learning too. But I also think they're just as potent this draft coming through. They clearly know what they're going for, and the comp that they have together right now is obviously calculated. So I think Heil is a well put together team, just as well put together as Inhumans. But in execution, we'll have to find out exactly how experienced these players look.
What I like about Heil is that they are their own entity a lot of the times, and that they like to talk about that. Like, they don't just say we're Inhumans B team; they're literally Heil.
Which is exactly what
yeah.
which is exactly what WKDMT is to the end. They are their own team. They have their own strats. They have their own comps. They have their own players. And sure, they've struggled, but they're still a talented team, and they have different strengths and different kinds of drafts that teams have to take into account. They can't just look at them as a carbon copy of their main team. You have to look at them as their own. Which is good. It's good to see. It's good to see that variety in a.
That's just why we wanted to see that mentoring program go down. We're just not really kicking off at all. I want to see teams become their own, but with the help of a more experienced team, just get there faster. Unfortunately, we didn't really see a kickoff of that. Anyways, I expect to see a lot of initiation out of ghosts.
Out of ghosts on a Wheelix. Maybe not initiations. I think a Wheelix is in her own rights one of the best 1-versus-1 gods, maybe aside from Arachne and Susanoo is definitely up there in that conversation too, about a god that can go 1-versus-1. But the combinations are definitely there between Geb and a Wheelix, and she has obviously her own knockup. So if she could displace somebody like Vulcan, who only has that backfire for mobility, he's gonna be struggling. But if he could just ward up his lane and play nice and safe versus that Wheelix, that'd be great. What's up?
Would you pause the game and then change the name to Heil, so that way we call them by their proper name?
Absolutely. As soon as I get it, I will pause the game. I'm not in the game, though.
Oh, I'm in the game. So what?
Really? I'm not in.
Yeah. Don't worry about it.
We'll see if I get in soon. No, I'm not in. It may be doing that same thing where it's not working, and it's going to be really unhappy if it's not working, because that means I can't cast, and you're going to have to... That is...
I can broadcast it on Twitch, and then have you watch it, because I have that experimental thing on.
It doesn't work out very well, because that delay just sucks, and I can't do play-by-play, and a lot of people like that play-by-play. I'm still not in.
Yeah, I need to work on my play-by-play. I've been having the luxury of having you
I'm going
around.
to try and get in, though, but it's not working right now.
Alright, I'll just start the stream up on Twitch.
Uno momento. See if I can't just jump into the game. No, I can't. Yeah, it's not working for me. I don't know why. I really don't think I can broadcast anymore. This really sucks until I can figure this issue out. I may try and uninstall Smite and reinstall it, but that takes... I mean, I have really good internet, so it'll only take about 20-30 minutes, but still, that's annoying. Crap.
That's unfortunate.
Alright, well...
TKO versus Heil, that's right.
So it'll be on the Twitch?
Yep, and it should archive it.
Okay, well, it's going to be streamed over on the Twitch. The Reaper will be doing the play-by-play and most of the commentary for you guys. I might try and help out, but the delay is usually pretty big that I'm not much use anyways, other than giving some talking points every once in a while. But over on the Twitch is where you'll find a better stream than mine. I'll try and figure this out, but until then, sorry about that, guys.
Nemesis being poked out by the Wheelix, but barely getting away with an inch, I think, with the skin of her teeth. It still goes in with the crush, but the crush